And we're back here on Extra Rounds. TJ DeSantis, please be joined now by Marcelo Cohen, a man who I've had the pleasure of calling multiple matches of on the combat jiu-jitsu stage. Marcelo, you have one of the best Kimuras I've ever seen. You almost ripped a man's arm off right in front of me one time. How much pride do you take in your Kimura game?
Well, I'm just that's one of those moves that you're good at it. Everybody have a little guide towards some type of submission. I guess it just end up to be the Kimura lock.
I mean, it's my favorite submission. There's so many things you can do with the Kimura, whether it's, if you're on bottom, you get a sweep. It's ultimate domination on top. It's a special move, and one that you might call upon in your next matchup. You're taking on the UFC veteran in the brick, Jimmy Flick. It goes down at Fury Pro Grappling number 9. It's on an Air Force base. This is an exciting sort of thing, Marcelo. Are you pumped about like the sort of atmosphere that you're going to be competing in?
I'm super excited that they're doing this for National Guard and support these people that defend our country is amazing. Just to be on the show and competing with such a high level UFC professional fighter like Jim Flick, it just make the show way more exciting.
Yeah, what do you know about Jimmy Flick and what he brings to the table? Because obviously we've seen him do a lot of work in the MMA stuff, but as a grappler, how do you break him down? Compared to traditional BJJ players you faced.
Well, Jimmy Flick, I think, is gonna be strong. His nickname is a brick for a reason, right?
Right.
So I'm expecting a professional athlete, a cardio machine, with the MMA style jiu-jitsu, which he's good at. If you look at it, the guy is a jiu-jitsu black belt. He's a good jiu-jitsu, 17 wins, 15 by submission. For some reason, he's at UFC, right? And then I know that he just renewed his contract. So I'm just very happy to compete with such a high level professional athlete.
Do you expect this is a match where you have to be, in bottom a lot? Like, how do you see this match unfolding?
Well, since the rules are submission only, uh, I will be I'm working on my wrestling for this match as well because I know he's a good wrestler. Maybe surprise a little bit, with some throws. Who knows? So I'm going for fight, man. Whatever I end up, we're gonna go fight. It's gonna be. I'm not playing. I'm gonna do. Some guys say I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. I don't. I go there, show up and fight. Show up, fight hard. That's what I expect.
I mean, I like that attitude. We've watched a lot of grappling. I've called a lot of grappling, and there are some matches that feel like a friendly game, if you will, and then there are other grappling matches where it's like we got to keep these guys separated from one another because they're going to slap each other in the face. Sometimes it happens in combat jiu-jitsu, but so you're going to be fired up. This is going to be a match that feels like a fight.
It's a great opportunity if you're thinking about. I'm fighting a UFC fighter on UFC Fight Pass, a younger man at 40 years old like me. This is so exciting. It's such a huge opportunity.
You're going to be on
I'm ready.
You're going to be on the National Guard base. Obviously, Jimmy Flick, an all-American guy. Are you going to be the heel coming in, or are you going to be the bad guy?
Hey, I have nothing against that guy. I actually look up to him a lot because, like I said, he's an amazing athlete. And I don't try to be no bad guy. I just trying to go there and win my match. That's where I focus on it and put on a show for the crowd. Hopefully, they can see a really cool display of high level jiu-jitsu. And the
Absolutely.
card is amazing on top of it, full of high level elite UFC fighters. That's awesome.
Yeah, we've talked a lot lately about these, new grappling events on Fight Pass. Obviously, the Fight Pass Invitational is something the UFC has put a lot of effort into. I'm coming off a Combat Jiu-Jitsu Worlds in Mexico City over the weekend, and Fury Pro belongs right up there in all the conversations because, Marcelo, we're starting to see this circuit where grapplers like yourself can go out there and compete and stay busy and stay active and stay making money the way that a professional athlete should.
Correct. But also the making money part, I think depends individually of each person. A lot of jiu-jitsu guys, they thinking about just the purse of how much. They don't realize there's so many opportunities in sponsorships. There's matches that I make barely any money, but I was able to score huge sponsorships for those matches, and that's when you really get paid. Not looking to a jiu-jitsu short surfing company. I'm talking about reach out and looking and get deals with public companies.
Right.
There's nothing to do with jiu-jitsu. So if you smart and you market yourself well, you can make good money just position yourself in a good spot.
I mentioned the Fight Pass Invitational. Is that a stage we could ever see you on? Would you like to try to be part of a future FPI?
Well, I would love to be a part of it. Who knows what's in store for me? For right now, I have one vision, Jimmy Brick. A lot of guys say, oh, after this fight, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. After this, no. The fight is now Fury grappling. Let's see how that goes because none of these plans will work if you don't pull out the victory.
Fair enough. I'm going to ask you another question, and it's going to ask you to not talk
Yes.
about Jimmy Flick, but I want to ask it nonetheless. We've seen you do combat jiu-jitsu. I just watched it, play out again in Mexico City. What do you think about the future of that format?
Well, combat jiu-jitsu is amazing way to test yourself for self-defense. On the streets, if you want to use your jiu-jitsu, a random person is not gonna do a perfect elbow 12 to 6. They're gonna just throw wild hands.
Right.
That's what it is. Jiu-jitsu for self-defense. Is that's what the reason that I did is to test my jiu-jitsu when somebody striking me reckless and see the positions that can work and the positions that are not gonna work. And a lot of it's easy to for somebody just have money put it, oh, I teach jiu-jitsu for self-defense, but you're not competing in formats like that.
Right.
How can you say that your jiu-jitsu is efficient for self-defense if you just don't do this?
Right. Yeah. If you're going for points and you get a point in the street, what is that going to do for you? Nothing.
Nothing.
Absolutely.
Nothing, no points.
Uh,
So that's it's amazing thing that combat jiu-jitsu really found a spot and they're here to stay. I'm so happy for you guys helping the grow in this sport, the new sport, right? That we have it.
Absolutely. I'm going to make you play Matchmaker on the way out here, Marcelo. Again, check out Marcelo's fight against Jimmy Flick coming up here on Fury Pro 9. But if you were the matchmaker, what do you think the biggest combat jiu-jitsu match that could be made would be?
Ever?
Ever. Like, I mean, within reason, like a possibility. Maybe Gordon Ryan's probably not an option because he's not competing right now. But maybe you give me a scenario with Gordon or without Gordon. Maybe one of each.
Well, of course, the one with I don't like to talk about heavyweights as much because I cannot beat those guys.
Sure.
But I would love to see Gordon Ryan and Galvão, of course.
Mm-hmm.
They'll play different, you know. The pull guard you'll be interested to see when somebody's landing strikes on you. That will be a one that like a dream one. Maybe a realistic one. I saw Ducky. I've been following him for a long time. I'm so happy for him, man. This guy works so hard. I love to see him fight. Maybe the champion of the 135
Okay.
was what's his name again? I always forget his name. Alvarez, right?
Yep. Yep. Olivares. Dorian Olivares.
Olivares versus Ducky will be a good match.
Yeah, Gabriel Dafron, who just won the featherweights. I like it. Maybe they can make that happen because that's a
Right.
match. That's a match that I would like to see as almost a super fight. Right? It doesn't have to be in the tournament finale. Like those two guys are good enough to just be matched up with one another in just a one-off fight. Let's see it.
Champion versus champion.
There we go. Now the ball's in Master Vic and Eddie Bravo's court. Marcelo, I appreciate you doing some matchmaking with us on the way out, and best of luck against Jimmy Flick coming up here on Fury Pro 9.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm gonna put on a show If I just want to say thank you for my sponsor, Blue Hawk, is an intelligence service. When they saw that I was doing that with the U.S. National Guard, they got right on board and sponsored me for this fight. So they work with the army as well. Just want to shout out to Blue Hawk. Thank you.